Hey, everybody. Welcome to the call. I'm so glad that you guys are here tonight tuning in with me, especially midweek. I know that carving out this time is not always easy. So thank you for choosing to be here. If you do not know me, my name is Abby Taylor. I am a mom of three, and I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a Sapphire brand ambassador, and what that means is that over the last 7 years, I've helped hundreds of women see real results, not just with their health, but with building income that creates real margin in their lives. Um, this leadership rank also comes with some incredible perks, and we'll talk about those later. But more than anything, it represents experience, stability, and a business model that works when you work it. So I would love for you guys to have your chat open tonight if you can, because I'll be asking some questions along the way, and I'd love for you guys to engage with me. Um, if you are here tonight, then it's because someone saw something in you. Someone invited you intentionally because they believe this could possibly bless your family in the way that it has blessed ours. And so maybe you're excited, maybe you're curious, maybe you're quietly wanting more, but also feeling very skeptical. Wherever you're at, I'm just so glad that you guys are here. So, my heart is simply to share what I've lived, what I've seen, and what I know is possible, and to give you guys space to reflect and see what this might be able to do for your own life potentially. Okay, so before I share my story, I want to honor a few women here tonight with me. Amber Peters, Hannah Wolf, Chelsea Ronsman, say hi in the chat, or possibly myself. We're probably one of the people that invited you. So these women, they are really incredible. They don't invite casually. They lead with integrity, consistency, grit, and heart. They build people up, not just businesses, and have big dreams to see women just like you rising up. So if you're here, someone sees something special in you and you're already so valued. So go ahead and type in the chat who invited you tonight. So if you're here in the Zoom, go ahead and open up the chat and tell us who invited you. And then while you're in the chat, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much margin do you feel that you have right now in your life? 1 being zero margin, and 10 being I am living my life freely as I please. Where would you fall on that scale, 1 to 10? I'm seeing some numbers coming in and names. I love it. Thanks for engaging there, guys. Okay, so I'm going to hop in and share my story as you guys are doing that. So 7 years ago, I was an elementary music teacher and a young mom of two, now three. I'm trying to really keep everything afloat. I loved my teaching job for the first 8 years, but then year nine hit, and I was like, something has to change. Financially, we were tight, paycheck to paycheck, the constant mental math, right? Adding things up, feeling so anxious about our bills, repairs, really anything unexpected. I was exhausted. I was rushing. Um, so rushed in the mornings, like trying to get my kids into the van and like off to daycare, and then they were crying or I was crying, and then I was snapping at my kids, and then the mom guilt, and also realizing that daycare costs meant I wasn't even really bringing in much more than that, right? Can you relate with that? I remember thinking, is this how it will always be? At the same time, my body was waving red flags. I was not sleeping well. I relied on sugar to get through the day. I needed naps. I crashed in the afternoons. By evening, I had nothing left to give, and I was parenting from the couch, which was not very effective. And I remember wondering, will it ever get better? So, question for you guys. Have you ever found yourself thinking the same thought? If so, put one in the chat if you've ever thought, will it ever get better? Or is this how it will always be? Let me know if I'm not alone in that. Okay, yes, lots of ones. What I wanted, you guys, wasn't super drastic or dramatic. I just wanted little things. I wanted to walk my son into kindergarten and not have to rush right off to work afterwards. I wanted to bake muffins with my daughter in the afternoon, have dinner on the table because I could, live life during the week, not just cram everything into the weekends. I wanted to buy organic groceries without having to run a credit card or buy birthday and Christmas gifts without stress. Buy an outfit I liked at full price without guilt, and then just get my hair done without having to swap the cost for something else. And I remember thinking if this could just help with the little things like $300, $400 extra a month, like that would be enough. I really just wanted more time. I wanted more peace, more margin, and less arguing over our bills. So I'm wondering with you guys, if a little pressure was lifted in your life right now, what is one small thing that would change for you? Type that in the chat. Maybe it was one of the things that I shared with you that I wanted some extra money for. But if you had a little bit extra margin right now, what would that change for you guys? So I was seeking a flexible way to contribute financially from home. I had looked into cleaning houses. I was scrolling on Craigslist when that was a thing. I actually did Mary Kay before, and I just felt like there was not a good fit for me. And I didn't want everything to fall on my husband's shoulders. And I just was really struggling to figure out the best route for us. So I also taught piano lessons, so just a lot of things. And that's when my sister shared Plexus with me out of the blue. It seemed, looking back, I know it was an answer for my desperate plea. I saw her drinking her pink drink, and I was very skeptical. Frugal also didn't play well. I didn't believe the products would work. The only reason I actually tried them was because she bought my first box for me. She's a really nice sister. And then when she mentioned the business, I immediately said no. And here's something I want you guys to know about me. I never, ever planned on doing network marketing. I'm an introvert. I was not active on social media. I don't have a big friends group, and my husband was not supportive. Not because he didn't love me, but because this felt unfamiliar and very risky to him. And I had a lot of reasons to not succeed at this. But a few weeks ago, or not a few weeks ago, few weeks into taking the products, I'm still seeing changes. I probably saw more changes a few weeks ago. Something unexpected happened for me. I started sleeping better. I didn't need the naps every afternoon. My energy returned and I was happier. I was calmer. I was playing with my kids. I wasn't laying on the couch anymore. I didn't need the ice cream every night before bed. I wasn't getting shaky before meals. I was like, oh my gosh, this is working. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I had control over my health, and that was super freeing. And that's when the shift began. It wasn't overnight, it wasn't magically, it was right on time. And it wasn't until someone actually encouraged me to dream and asked me what was really deep inside of me that was a turning point for me. Because here's the truth, and maybe you guys can relate. I had been in survival mode for so long that I didn't even know what it looked like to dream. I was living day to day, hour to hour, barely seeing my husband, living for the weekends, living for summer, just trying to make it through the week. So the idea of dreaming was really foreign to me. And honestly, it sounded like a waste of time, not gonna lie. I wasn't asking things like, what would I want my life to look like? I honestly shoved away any thoughts that there could be a better future for us because I didn't see it as an option. But when someone encouraged me to look beyond the present and take an honest look inside and get real with myself to what I really could envision as possible for us, that was when things clicked. Someone else giving me permission to dream woke up something inside of me. I started feeling excited again, motivated, hopeful. I wasn't sleeping at night at all because I was so excited about what was going to happen for my family and where we were going. For the first time in a long time, I was looking ahead with anticipation instead of fear, believing that maybe I had found something that could actually be an answer to so many pressures our family was under. And it was the answer. I started to see clearly what this income opportunity could allow for us. So I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have never driven a new vehicle before, ever. The idea of a Plexus Lexus felt so outside of my reality and kind of silly, but I was like, this sounds amazing. We didn't really travel, definitely not internationally, and if we did, it was little trips here or there, and we had to keep it as cheap as possible or potentially pull from our savings. And so the concept of traveling on the company's dime to like bucket list places blew my mind. I could see how having a regular space to step away from the noise and spend quality time with my husband would really strengthen our friendship and our marriage. And so I was so excited to travel more. I was sold out on the six-figure income because as a teacher, I was nowhere near that amount and I knew I never would be. And so the fact that this compensation plan has no cap, no limits on how much money I can make or spend or give, that was really very enticing to me. And actually, one of our diamond leaders, this is a really cool fact, she makes six figures a month. A month. Let that settle a second. Like, I still can't comprehend that. But that is more than a brain surgeon. And that is what is available here for you and I. Just imagine how much good you could do with that money. So, in the chat, share with me what's one thing you guys would pay off, purchase, or change right now if your monthly income doubled or tripled. If your income doubled or tripled, what would you pay off, purchase, or what would change for you guys? I'm super curious to hear. And I'll tell you guys too, it wasn't just the numbers that caught my attention. It was actually like what the number could do, right? So margin, security, options, the ability to breathe and actually enjoy life without constantly worrying. And gosh, I was thinking like, if this was the thing to actually change our future, why would I not be willing to take the next step? And I was willing, as you can see. I also realized something important too, because a lot of people say, I don't have time for one more thing. I get it. I was very busy too, but I was looking at it and thinking, what if this is the one thing that I added to my plate right now that would eventually allow me to take other things off my plate? That was like a light bulb, and that's what has happened. And so that's when I made the decision, and I didn't stumble into this. I chose it. I chose to go all in. It is a choice. It is a decision. And even though maybe it didn't fit the boxes others expected of me, I think my parents were very shocked. Even though I knew people might have opinions about me eventually leaving my teaching job, even though putting myself on social media felt strange and new, even though my husband did not see it yet, I knew that saying yes to this would change our future. And when I pour into something, I'm just the type of person that's going to do it with excellence and consistency. And come hell or high water, like I'm doing this, I'm making this happen. And so I thought if others could do this, why can't I figure it out? So I decided this would be our plan B with no intention of ever leaving or becoming our plan A or leaving my job. I stepped out of my comfort zone and into the world of sharing Plexus with others. And that's when I noticed that the moms I was talking to, tired, anxious, bloated, malnutrition, not sleeping well, hormone things happening. They were also going to bed worrying about the same health issues that I was. They were also worrying about their finances. And I realized that I had found a solution that addressed both. Gut health is so foundational, you guys, as you know, for overall health, and our high quality products are helping people with hundreds of issues. So I started sharing boldly and I was shouting it from the rooftops because I knew I had the answer for more spoken or silent prayers. I shared with my coworkers, my friends, my college friends, my youth group high school friends. She was actually my literally first person to join my team 7 years ago, and she is still using the products to today. She loves them, and I love that story. And so sharing, it wasn't to convince people, wasn't to pressure anyone, but because I believed in what this could do for them and their families. When your focus is on somebody else and how this can impact them, you're going to show up so much differently. And so my team began to grow one woman at a time, one conversation at a time, one scary action at a time. And what also stood out to me at that time was women weren't just looking for better health. They wanted options, flexibility, a way to contribute financially without sacrificing more time with their families or having to work extra shifts or to find another job. They wanted a positive, encouraging community too, a place to belong, a way to travel more and create memories with their family. And I realized Plexus wasn't just a wellness company. It was a vehicle to freedom. And so as my business grew steadily, I grew too. Here's the thing, I never saw myself as a leader, and this pulled a leader out of me that I didn't know was in there. It refined me. It has stretched me far beyond my comfort zone. It's sharpened my communication skills. It's helped me form healthier habits. It's deepened my faith. And I can say that becoming more of the person that God created you to be is the most rich reward you could ever experience in this lifetime. And so I love that my hard work was seen and celebrated here beyond my role as a mom. I wanted to be mom, but I wanted something for me. I needed something for me. And so recognition here is not rare. It is consistent and it comes in all forms. I have earned iPads, Apple Watches, customized Nike shoes, Minky Couture blankets. If you've never heard of a Minky Couture blanket, you need to go look it up. It is the best blanket in the world. I love it. I sleep with it every night. Stage recognition, huge cash bonuses, and even phone calls all the way from the company, the president of the company, founder and president. I have had phone calls with them before. Hannah Wolf here on this call, she got a call from them last week celebrating her on her most recent achievement. And I think that's so cool that people at the tippy top of the company care about us here that are building. It's a really cool thing. It just speaks volumes about the integrity of the company here. And so I've been able to surround myself by driven, life-giving, fun women who call me higher and have now become my closest friends. And by the way, I did not know Amber, Hannah, or Chelsea prior to Plexus at all. So and now I could not imagine my life without them. So we're a very close-knit community and team that cares deeply, not just about business, but doing life together. And we love for you guys to be able to be a part of that. So after I was about a month into my journey and I had made my $300 to $400 goal, the exact amount I had hoped for. I remember saying things like to Brian, my husband, I'll cover the phone bill this month. I've got the electric bill this month. And he was starting to get a little curious. But it helped cover like tire costs when our van needed them or summer activities our kids wanted to participate in. Having the ability to cover those costs without worrying was huge. And then came my first $1,000 paycheck, and you guys, I was shook. It felt like a dream. It did not feel real. I couldn't believe that I was making that kind of money from my phone helping other people. And then I could say things like yes to getting my hair done or to extra self-care, the occasional massage here and there, which is still the best hour of the month, by the way. And our savings account started to grow. And then bigger shifts happened. I was able to leave the classroom and come home. And that changed my life. Like, I think I could cry thinking about it. I knew that inside, like, this is what I wanted to do full time. It became one of the most fulfilling things I have ever done. And so, shortly after my third baby, 2020 happened. Instead of slowing down, our team actually caught a massive wave of momentum. And 2 years into my business, I hit that monumental rank that opened a door to a six-figure income, to the Lexus vehicle or to the monthly bonus, a vehicle bonus, and then a luxury yearly trip for two. And all of that actually happened in one of my hardest seasons of my life. While my 1 month old baby was hospitalized for a very rare staph infection, literally had to have surgery on his shoulder, tiny little shoulder. What stands out to me the most was it wasn't the achievement itself, it was the way my team showed up. They carried things with me. They rallied around me and my family in such a beautiful and selfless way. It makes me emotional because it reminded me of something so important. Mothers are capable of incredible things. You are capable of incredible things. Even in the midst of deep stress and uncertainty, in that season, this business became more than income. It was a beautiful distraction that gave me hope. It gave me something to work on from that hospital chair. It kept me focused on serving and helping others, and in many ways, it became a lifeline, something steady and life-giving when everything else felt so uncertain. And so, besides the community, one of my favorite parts about hitting Emerald is that Plexus will gift you with an annual trip for you and a guest. And I will tell you, Plexus totally pulls out the stops, you guys, from shopping sprees at Bloomingdale's to Caribbean celebrity cruises to five-star resorts in Maui, Hawaii, and Mayakoba, Mexico. Like, this past fall, I even got to take my husband on a week-long, all expense paid trip on an Alaskan cruise. Like, nothing I ever would have planned for myself, right? I've been able to bring my mom to Mexico. I've been able to bring my daughter to Hawaii, my son on a cruise with us to, where was that? I don't remember which one that one was, but a few years ago, maybe it's in the chat. Um, experiences I never would have been able to give them if it weren't for this opportunity. And so I'm super curious, you guys, drop this answer in the chat. If you were gifted a trip, any trip, where's one place you would want to go? Where would you love to go? Hawaii. Yes, Hawaii's incredible. Bahamas. Absolutely. So watching my kids' joy and excitement and their sense of wonder, like it's just completely surreal and worth every single difficult setback that I've faced here in my journey because I've faced a lot. And the fact that, Plexus is generous to cover these trips still amazes me. Like it's not normal, it's not common. And that's just one of the reasons too that I believe so deeply in this company and their generosity. Australia, oh, that would be incredible. And here's a part that really humbles me, you guys. Last month, I made my largest paycheck ever, just under $13,000. And you guys, I could cry because my husband is now going to be able to take a missions trip to Africa to serve and use his gifts and talents, which has been on my dream board, my vision board from the time that I started my business. So this is like a total full circle moment. I'm still shocked by these emails I get that you've been paid 3 to 4 times a month. And I don't say this to boast or anything. I say this because this is the potential for you. I'm not anybody super special. I'm just somebody who wanted change and was willing to work for it. And so this is really, results of years of consistency and belief and choosing to build something that lasts. Showing up would have been easier to stop, learning and growing and refusing to give up even when it's uncomfortable. And this exists for you too. So because of this business, our family now has options. We slowed down our pace of life. We've been able to volunteer more, pursue passions, give more generously, and more importantly, to be present with our kids. We decided to homeschool, something I told myself I would never do, but 2020. And so, my husband then unfortunately lost his job of 17 years. But we didn't have to panic. He didn't have to rush into another role or go to interviews. He actually chose to stay home and invest in our children. And now we get to homeschool together. And that's like a dream he apparently prayed for. Like he didn't want to miss moments with his kids. And so it's just incredible. We have a goal to be debt free. We want to build a house on a plot of land and watch our kids and grandkids grow up there. We never want to have to worry about expenses. I have a genetic medical condition that I have to monitor the rest of my life, lots of dollar bills. And so I just never wanted to have that burden for my family. And so this helps cover those medical costs, help cover our children's college eventually so they don't start off their life with a boatload of debt like I did. And just being able to say yes when we see fit. So today, this is something my husband thanks me for. For 2 years, he did not support what I was doing here. Not really not support, but he wasn't really on board. It was me like being my own cheerleader. But I knew where I was going and I had no doubts. And now he thanks me for it. He's so thankful that I stuck it out. And you will thank yourself for not giving up when it feels hard. This journey has, and I also want to say this. The people who question you in the beginning are often the ones that will thank you in the end. So keep that in mind. This journey has deeply transformed me. I can't even tell you that the woman who started this 7 years ago is so different than who I am today. As a mom, as a wife, as a leader, as a friend, I'm so grateful for this refining process. It feels hard at times, but it's so good in the end. And I think one of the reasons I have kept saying yes to this, even when it's uncomfortable, is because I'm raising 3 kids who are watching me. Not what I say, but what I do and how I show up. And I want my kids growing up believing that big things don't just happen to special people. They happen to ordinary people who are willing to learn, stretch, and stay faithful. My hope is one day that my children will actually join me in this. I know my husband won't. I order through his account and he is very faithful to say, I made $2.54 with Plexus this month. I'm like, you're welcome for placing an order, product order under your account name. Somehow he thinks he's contributing, but um, I really think my daughter will join me in this. Eventually, she's been talking about Pink Drink and all things Plexus, and she helps me prepare for my sip and sees, my events. I even brought her to my last event. Like it was so special. And I can just see how this is going to transform her too, and how this can be a gift for generations to come, and how it's going to leave a legacy beyond when I'm gone someday. So people ask me, has it been worth it, Abby? And my answer is always yes. Over and over again, it has been yes. Has it been easy? No. But honestly, anything meaningful that we build from the ground up, it requires effort, growth, and perseverance, right? I have fought a lot of mindset battles over the 7 years, mostly my own false stories I created. There's moments I question myself. I feel insecure. I wonder if I can move forward sometimes. There's moments where people stopped products and walked away from the business, and I've faced hurt and pain and rejection. But every part has been worth it for me. Worth it to out earn careers that you were once told were the ceiling, right? Worth it to plan your life instead of react to it. Worth it to live out your dreams, not someday, but now. Worth it to change the trajectory of your family's future. And so I made a decision early on that I was not going to let my comfort zone keep me from everything that God might have for me here and for others in my life and on my team. And that decision has carried me through seasons of doubt, growth, momentum, and challenge. And really, it's become that anchor for me. So, as we wrap this up, I want to pause for a moment. I'm not going to ask you guys to make any decisions tonight, but I'm going to ask you guys to get honest with yourselves with these questions because I find that clarity comes when we're willing to look at where we're headed. And so my question for you guys, and you can just write this down, think about it in your head, put your answers in the chat, it doesn't matter. But if nothing changes in your life over the next 3 to 5 years, the same schedule, the same income, the same level of stress, how do you think you'll feel? If nothing changes when you show up next year at this time or in 3 years at this time, how will that affect you? Would you feel content? Would you feel fulfilled? Or would you feel unfinished or like there's something more? If your life stays exactly as it is right now, what moments might you miss because of it? And when you picture yourself a few years from now, what would you regret more? Trying something and deciding it wasn't for you in the end, or never giving yourself a chance at all? That one is like a gut punch. I also want to be really clear, you guys, what it takes to build this business because it doesn't take a certain personality, doesn't take you being extroverted or introverted, or you have to have so many years of experience or be a certain age or a certain background. All it takes is a willingness to grow and change, a willingness to learn a skill set, a willingness to put some time and effort into this, to be coachable. You'll be linking arms with a lot of amazing women on this team, and just a hunger for change. And the nice thing is you don't have to do this alone ever. We have phenomenal systems you can plug into. You'll know exactly how to get started. You'll have support, collaboration, and connection. And the cool thing is this is flexible. It's my favorite part, I think. You don't have to leave a full-time job to pursue this. You can build this in the pockets of your ready, busy day. You have no boss telling you when you get to work or not work, or even who to work with or where to work, right? The ability to create your day the way you want to is a gift. So, as a Sapphire Ambassador, you can tell probably that I lead an incredible team of all sorts of different women who are hungry for change. The impact we've been able to make together, the ripple effect of positive change within our families, community, and even this world, it all started with one nervous step, one nervous yes. And so you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Abby, I've tried this before. So did I. Maybe you think I'm not cut out for this. I didn't think so either. Or I'm too tired, too busy to ensure. Yes, 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 been there. But please hear me out, you guys. God doesn't ask us to be perfect. He asks us to be willing. And sometimes the biggest blessings come from the very thing we almost said no to. So if a year from now you're sitting in a completely different spot, more confident, more supported, more options, more income, more impact, more trips, would it be worth it to take that leap of faith and put the work in? I think so. I know so. So, um, before we leave, I just want to share quickly what my team is working towards right now. We have some really big goals. A lot of women running towards jewel rank. I'm running towards diamond, which is the top rank in the company. And so I'm like sweating every day when I look at my goal, but I know that's what I want. I know that's what we're capable of. And so Amber Peters on here, who's about to give birth to her third baby, she's homeschooling her kids. Her goal is to build towards a big, beautiful home with a backyard space for chickens and all the gardens, a workspace where she can confidently lead her growing team. She's already taken meaningful steps towards this and is absolutely capable as a leader. She now has her dream vehicle and she leads with freedom and fierce determination. Like there is no quit in her. Hannah Wolf just had her third baby. She didn't have to return to work after her baby, and I love watching her rock her sweet baby and work her business, and it's the coolest thing ever. She's looking ahead to a home in the country with a wraparound porch, while leading her large Plexus team and working towards a nonprofit that's really close to her heart. She's building with purpose, vision, and impact. And then Chelsea is working diligently to pay off student loans and debt and lifting that weight from her family so that they can say yes to more freedom, more travel, more experiences, more time together. She's super sweet. She leads with heart, with relationships, and flexibility. And so, why you and why now? Here's the thing. We didn't have this figured out. We didn't feel ready. We just decided we were going to take the next step, and we're here to do that with you too. And so, as we close tonight, you guys, I just want you to type in the chat if you'd be willing to share, what is it that stuck out to you the most tonight on this call, or what excites you the most? I am so excited to step into this year and to live out this vision. I have a goal to impact as many women as humanly possible. When we link arms, we reach our reach multiplies, right? For me, this is so much more than just a business. It's about building people, strengthening families, watching people walk into freedom, and using our influence to grow God's kingdom. And there absolutely is a space here for you too. And so thank you for saying yes to this call, for showing up, for carving out time, and for being willing to get honest with yourself. I know that takes courage. And thank you for joining me on my journey. And I hope it was inspiring for you. If I can do this, you can do this too. And just for being open to consider maybe what your life could look like in 3, 6 months, 3 years, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Can't believe it's been 7 for me. So if you have anything stirring inside of you, even quietly, I want to encourage you to not ignore it. That's the worst thing you could do. You don't have to have all the answers and you don't have to make a decision right now, but just honor that stirring because that prompting, I don't believe it's by coincidence. Talk with the women who invited you, ask questions, stay curious because sometimes the smallest yes is the beginning of a life that looks very different a year from now. So, with that, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry I went over the 30 minutes a little bit, but I hope you guys have a great night and I'll chat with you soon and hope to see you soon too. All right. Bye bye.